We're so glad you're with us today. It's the most wonderful time of the year in the Bluegrass. It's basketball season.
As well, right? That adds to it. Former UK basketball star Kyle Macy is here with us today. He's going to tell us about a special project that he has been working on, and it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
This is going to take us back a little while, right?
I hope so, yeah. That's kind of how I got started with it. Just when I'm around other players, hearing stories that they tell about their teams and those type of things. And about 3 years ago, I came up with the idea just to interview all former players, coaches, and anyone that has their jersey hanging from the rafters of Rupp. And that's what I've entitled the show. It'll be 5 shows this basketball season, basically 1 per month during the season. And the first show will air Christmas Day, which is the 25th at noon, with Coach Joe Hall and Dan Issel.
Now, that's got to be a lot of fun when you get to sit down and really talk to them. But you already know these people. You said that you still learn things in this process.
Well, yeah, my job as an interviewer basically was just to try to get them to expound upon different stories, some that I'd heard about and some that I didn't know. And the hardest part, probably the whole series, other than the rejections throughout the process, was just getting to take the hour and a half to 2 hours of tape that we have from the interviews and edit them down to a 30-minute show.
Yeah, whittle it down to the essence. How did this come about to begin with? You just thought this would be a good idea?
You know, I wasn't doing many games when I was doing the broadcast after the SEC network took over. And so I wanted to keep working, practice my interview skills and those type of things. And when people tell me no, sometimes that kind of motivates me. And so I just, took it upon myself and thought the fans would like it. And I knew I would enjoy doing it. And so it's been a lot of fun.
Well, as you know, Kentucky has so many great players. But when you have that jersey up there, that really means something.
Well, and I ask each player and coach about what it does mean to them to have their jersey up there. So it's always fun to hear their response and how they look at it. And, I couldn't have done it without the sponsors I've got, Kennedy's Wildcat Den, Friends of Cole, Kentucky Farm Bureau, and Bud's Gun and Shop and Range. So thanks to them for getting on board and helping me with the expenses.
Are some interviews easier than others? That's my experience.
It's nice that I do know most of the players and coaches, so we have a relationship to begin with. Louis Dampier's pretty quiet. He's kind of shy, but even Louis kind of opened up, and we had a real good time. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, I can imagine those stories just kind of one story leads to another one and all that. The first one focuses on Dan Issel and Joe Hall. Who comes up next?
Well, I've got a list here. Let me make sure I don't mess it up. So I've got, Coach Hall and Dan Issel in December. January will be Louis Dampier and Tony Delk, 2 outstanding guards, really shoot the basketball. In February will be Jack Givens and Kevin Greavy, left-handed forwards, outstanding players. March will be Cliff Hagan and Frank Ramsey. So they were actually roommates in college, kind of interesting.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And then
they can tell stories on each other that way.
And they do, yeah. And Kenny Walker and Cotton Ash will finish it up later in March. So if we can't get that second one in March, we may go into April. But
it's a great lineup.
It's a lot of fun. It's our pleasure to be part of it. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.